You're not
different
going
from.
to mention anybody's name, but
No, I'm not mentioning, but they
they
know
know
themselves.
themselves. Hi guys, welcome to case one of the Edge Cases podcast. My name is Derek, and I'm here with.
Franklina, okay, but you can call me Frankie.
We won't call you Frankie. All right. So before we proceed, we want to thank everyone for the overwhelming support online, on Twitter, on Instagram, for the support after we released the very first episode, the pilot episode. It's we've gotten, I think we're about 60 or 58 followers on Twitter or X, and yeah, it's been very nice to see. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you all very, very much for the overwhelming support. Honestly, I didn't think we'd garner that much followers in that period of time, but I'm pretty sure right now it will be very easy for anyone to follow us because this is our first official episode. So
Yeah,
thank you.
somebody got a cake too.
Yeah,
I,
somebody
I,
got
I
it.
don't know who, but somebody had an Edge Cases cake.
It wasn't me though, if you're wondering, it wasn't me. So someone got the cake.
So it was the cake cases. So all right. Yeah, so how's your week been? How since releasing the pilot episode, has your life changed? What has happened to you?
I've become popular. I'm a celebrity now. I'm a podcast celebrity.
Aish.
But aside that, my week has been pretty normal because I took the whole of this week off. So it's been chill.
To the whole
Aside,
week off.
yeah, the whole of Monday it ends tomorrow, Friday. So next
What
Monday,
have you been doing?
don't let me trick myself here. I've been designing, except I have been doing my 9 to 5 design. Everybody should understand that.
Okay, you've been
Yeah,
practicing. You've been
I've been
practicing. Yeah,
practicing. Yes,
we'll say
I've
that.
been practicing. I've been practicing my design skills, and then I used the opportunity to get started on something that I've been putting away for a while. An article. I wrote a Medium article, and yeah, that was something very nice. I hope I'm able to stay consistent. Right now, consistency is like the name of the game. So fingers crossed, I'm consistent on that one. So that's pretty much how my weekend's been. Productive, I should say.
Cool.
How's yours been?
For the people who didn't take leave for the whole week, we were still grinding, normal 9 to 5, and then also practicing. Yeah.
Your time will come. Your time will come. Be patient. Your time will come.
Okay. So this week, or for the first case, we have a couple of sections or a couple of things we want to talk about for the episode. So we're going to kick off with the first one. So Fidcon. We had Fidcon a couple of days ago. So Frankie, how was it? How was Fidcon for you?
It was. I loved it. I loved it. First of all, it's been a while I did anything. There was any design conference. I mean, that's the first design conference, official design conference in Accra, and I loved it. Especially being a speaker, I loved
Hmm.
it.
Celeb.
I wasn't nervous. So when Jeffrey reached out to me to tell me or ask me about being a panelist, I just said yes, right? I wasn't nervous from that time. I was only nervous when I saw the people, when I saw the crowd. And it started getting to me, right? I'm like, hey, I'm going to talk in front of all these people. You see how come I was like, you should sit by me
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
I was nervous. But then it turned out very fine. I wasn't as nervous as I thought I would be.
Mm,
I enjoyed every bit of it. Yeah, for me it was a really great experience.
yeah.
How about you?
So for those that are lost, FidCon was a final design conference organized by the Design Junkies. So you can follow them everywhere at the Design Junkies. So it brought together creative professionals, people within the tech industry to learn, to network, and to share ideas. Yeah, I also enjoyed very much. I got to meet a lot of people that until then I hadn't met in a long while.
Yeah.
Shout outs to various designers that are always in their rooms, and then they ended up when they will mention some of their names here.
Yeah.
they they always hide in their rooms, and on that day we got to see a couple of them, and it was really cool to chat and network with some of them.
Right.
I was also a little bit anxious of getting up on stage because yeah, I didn't really know what the questions were about. Right, we only knew that okay, it's going to be about collaboration, and yeah, I think it went so well. And the other speakers too. How do you see the other sessions that we had on
So
pricing and the rest? Yeah,
maybe I could go into my favorite session. So my favorite session was on Joshua Cleopas's on about it was something about pricing.
of
I
course,
took
of
notes, but
course, of course.
yeah, like I don't really pay attention when it comes to conversations about pricing as a creative, right? But his
Because you have
present,
money.
oh no, I really not reach there. But his presentation really got me thinking. I don't know if it's the points he put across, but some of them were very new to me. I took notes. I legit opened my phone, notes app, and then put there Joshua Cleopas hyphen pricing, something like that. And then I took screenshots about the books. I just loved that session because I really haven't paid attention or no one's conversation about pricing when it comes to the creative side of things has really got into me. That was my favorite. No, it wasn't even the panelist session that I was a part of. It was it was Joshua Cleopas's own. So I really took a ton.
Well, I had a private session with Anaman on negotiation.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry for those who didn't have private session. But what I learned from Anaman was they need you as much as you also need them, right? And then they don't have the upper hand when it comes to negotiation. You should also understand that you have a role to play when it comes to negotiation, and it's not just you going to listen to what they have to offer you, right? Because they are also anxious to meet you, or they are also anxious to know what you have to say. So you should go into a negotiation with that understanding that okay, they also want to listen to me, and not just unless of course some companies they don't want to listen to you. They have their offer, and then whether you like it or not. But then most companies would be open to one learning from you what you want to get as salary, and then all that. Right? Yeah. So I think all in all, it was a really cool event. I think for a first event, no, not even for the first event. It has outdone some previous events that we've done. Not to
Yeah.
compare though, but it has outdone a couple of events that the Ghanaian design ecosystem has had. And yeah, I'm looking forward to them doing more. I told some of them like I was really proud of what they've done.
Yeah.
It was really cool too. And you
Yeah, like I
remember the
said,
video?
how they started.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
The one that took a while before we eventually watched.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it. So they started Design Junkies, I think maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And now, like comparing how they started, looking back at how everything started and now, it's been an amazing journey for them. And I'm sincerely, honestly happy for their progress and their growth because
You
a
could,
lot of
yeah.
people start stuff and they can't get this far. To have achieved this
Yeah.
from that time to now. Me myself, when I start things, I don't even finish it. So they've given me
Charlie.
momentum. I'm
That
going to be
like
running
that's
momentum.
very true. That's very
Yeah.
true. You could even see where they started. Some of them didn't have beard. Now they have beard. I'm
Some
not
of
going
them
to
didn't
mention.
have
Yeah, they
the
didn't have
voice
dreadlocks. Now they
that they
have
have.
Rasta.
Exactly. So progress comes in different ways, in
We are
different
not going
forms.
to mention anybody's name, but
No, I'm not mentioning, but they
they
know
know
themselves.
themselves.
Okay, so we are really looking forward to more design conferences, more design events from whoever. So this, I think, has set um the stone rolling or the ball rolling on stuff like this for the design community. And I think right now it's just going to grow the community even more. You know, initially the community, like designers, we
Yeah.
had everything was just scattered and here and
Yes.
there. But I'm pretty sure this event is like the ignition to bringing us together.
Revival.
Ex-
Revival.
Yes, yes, you could say that. So I'm really expecting big things from the design community on.
Cool, 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 cool. Maybe a live event from
That would be bad.
Junkie Talks or UX Ghana or any
Or
of the
food.
other FOF. Yeah.
Yeah. So the second thing we'll be looking at today on case one on Edge Cases podcast is a book. And this is more like the book of the week. So we'll just take a book, go through a few chapters, give you a good sense of what the book is about, and urge you to read it because they are all design books and it will fuel our design skills. Right. So what we're going to look at today is 100 things every designer needs to know about people, written by Dr. Susan Weinschenk. I hope I got the name right. I really do. Right. So Eric, just run us through quickly what the overview of this book is about.
All right. So the book wants like it explains 100 things, or it explains a couple of things that designers need to know about the people that we are designing for. So their psychology, who they are, and what some of their characteristics are, and yeah, it promises or the book just helps you understand how to design for your users. Like that's a general overview of what the book would help you to do. Right. So what are some of the things you took out of it?
Yeah, so one of the takeaways is written explicitly in the book is I'm just going to read it out word for word, right? So what you think people are going to see on your web page may not be what they do see. It might depend on your background, knowledge, familiarity with what they are looking at, and expectations. So this essentially comes down to knowing who your users are. If you know who your users are, it's very easy to get that or use that information to design for them, to communicate what you're offering in their language,
Yeah.
right? So that when they come onto your site, when they're using your product, they are able to relate with it. A typical example here would be if you get onto the API docs or yeah, the API docs of any product page, right? The jargon, the way they have the code snippets, you can see that it's tailored for developers. So
Yeah.
if a non-technical person gets onto that page, they're not familiar with that language, right? They don't have any knowledge on what APIs or fetch or REST or or post or put is, right?
What
If
does
you go,
rest mean? What does rest
I
mean?
don't know. I know REST API. I only know REST and I know fetch and I know post and what I don't. That's all I know. But something like that, if you put that in front of a non-technical person, you are not talking to them. You will lose them because you didn't design for them. And
Yeah.
rightly so, you didn't design for them. So this just tells us that if you know who your users are, you are able to design for them, speak their language, and then you get them to do what it is you want them to do. Right. So
Yeah.
you can top up here.
That's that ties a lot into biases as well. Because your devs would come to the platform also having their own biases. They have their own knowledge base. They understand some of these terms, right? And even cultural biases are also
Yeah.
come into play. So
Yeah.
you write a storybook for a Ghanaian audience, and then you use lingo um, that is based in Ghana, or lingo that is known by Ghanaians or people within their community. And then somebody from another culture reads it, the person is probably not going to understand because
Right.
the person is reading with their own biases, their own knowledge, and
Yeah.
the rest. So once you understand that, what people see are not what they actually, or what you want people to see are not what they actually see based on their background, it forces you, or it tells you that we need to do a lot of talking to people we designed for, right, and not just relying on stakeholders.
Yeah, shooting some shots here. You are
Do you have
shooting.
something to say about that?
No,
Do
no. I wash my hands off this conversation.
right? I mean, if we make opinions based on just what we know as designers or as devs or as stakeholders for a product, we cut out a lot of the users
Okay.
that will be coming to our products with different ideas, different backgrounds and stuff. Right.
Right.
Yeah. What's another
Right.
thing you took out of?
Yeah. So the next section is peripheral vision and focal vision, or yeah, peripheral vision and focal. So I'll read one of the takeaways under this section. Although the middle of the screen is important for central vision, don't ignore what is in the viewer's peripheral vision. Make sure the information in the periphery communicates clearly the purpose of the page and the site. So over here, let me think of a very simple example to use. Um, Assuming you are on an e-commerce website selling, say, gadgets or
Mm.
iPhones, and then you are looking at the center of the screen, which is an image of an iPhone, and you have the name, the price, and all that.
Yeah.
Then suddenly something just comes at the bottom right, something just swoops in. You know the way, because something is not, you're not focused on it, right? As
Yeah.
soon as that thing swoops in at the bottom right, your focus, your attention moves there. So now
Yeah.
your eyes are no longer on the image and the name and the price. Now it goes to that thing that swooped in. And assuming that thing has nothing to do with the image or the phone that the site is trying to get you to
Mm.
buy. So what this whole takeaway points to is that when you're going to use something like that, make sure it's related to the the main messaging or the main action you want the user to take. What if this thing that swooped in is talking about football, right? Like you are getting a
Like
user
a
to
pop
make
up
a
ad.
purchase. Yeah, you are getting a user to make a purchase. You want to get the user's money, and then this thing that's swooped in, let's say it's an ad, is about football, and assuming it's a guy, the guy is going to click on the ad and move away from your screen. You've lost. That's like a drop off, right? You've
That's
lost
true.
that user. So you should just make sure that if you're going to use something that isn't in the focal point of what the person is looking at, make sure it's tied to that section they are looking at so that you're
Yeah.
able to keep them in that space or in that context.
Is
That is
is
what I
this
took away.
is this a campaign against the websites that use a lot of animations and interactions and stuff on there?
Well, I don't blame them. I don't blame them entirely because probably that's the ad putting ads on the screen is the way they get money, right?
Mm.
So I don't blame them entirely. I also hope they would advocate for the user in that sense. If it's once in a while and they are able to time where and when it should happen, fine. But if they
Mhm.
do it like and it becomes intrusive and annoying and frustrating, I think they are just being greedy or selfish. They should just use the sites themselves and leave users out of it.
Maybe one of these episodes will talk about the animations in websites and stuff. I'm sure it will
Yeah.
be.
I don't like animations. Not that I don't like them.
Hey.
So the reason one of the reasons why I don't like animations in sites is
Yeah.
if it can't happen on mobile,
Mm.
I don't need it because
Uh,
it's widely known that people access sites on their phones.
yeah.
So if the animation doesn't make sense on mobile and it makes sense on web, like it's cause zero, like it totals to zero for me. So if I want to apply an animation on web,
Yeah.
best believe I should be able to replicate the same thing on mobile. Else, it doesn't make sense. That's me personally.
Let's see. I'm sure would have a nice discussion on that.
Yeah, we could pen
We
that down.
could. Yeah.
Okay. The
Well,
last takeaway is people identifying objects by recognizing patterns. What was your takeaway from this section?
so my takeaway was that as humans, we like to create links between things, right? We like to create relationships, right?
Yeah.
So we see red in the morning, and the red means danger. If we see red in the evening, we'll likely associate it with danger because
Yeah.
we saw red to be danger in some previous time, right? So if we are creating experience for users, what I took away from this book is we should try as much as possible to create patterns in the user's mind. If the user sees a certain pattern or sees a certain call to action, even if they don't understand the language it's in, they should have an idea, right? Going back to the red danger example, if a user is the user doesn't speak English, and then they go to a certain page and they see a red button, they know that it's something destructive,
Yeah.
right? Because they've created that relationship in their mind that if I see red, it is danger. If I see red, something's going to be destroyed, right? Same thing with tool tips, or same thing with badges or chips that
Yeah.
say in a lot of products when they are orange or yellow or dark yellow, it means it's in a pending or a loading state, or it's in the middle. If it's green, it's successful. If it's red, it's failed, right? So we should try as much as possible to create some of those patterns in like our users mind when we are creating experiences. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty much the same for me. Let me use this example. So I was paying for something online, and we all know um when there are two buttons, right? Well, for me, the
Yeah.
primary button is usually on the right and the secondary is on the left. That's the way I've recognized
Mm.
patterns in the apps I use. So I go onto this site and the primary button is on the left, and then um the secondary is on the right, and I get confused. So because I was used to that, as soon as I got to that page, I used the right, but then
Oh,
it didn't do what I expected it to do. So I went back and I'm like, okay, the S is on the left, and then so that kind, because I've carried that knowledge from the other apps I've used onto that particular. It took a while, and
yeah.
then I had to pay attention to certain things on the screen. I'm like, is this site I'm on, car? Is it real? Like, is it legit? I had to go and do Google them and just to make sure my money is not going to the wrong place. So I feel like staying within what people are used to is very,
Mm.
very important with regards to confidence in the product. If
Yeah.
it was a product that I just did what I was supposed to do, I don't have to question their choices. I don't have to think twice. It would just be very easy for me to use. But because of all of these inconsistencies, I had to think twice. I had to go and do my research just to make sure, hey,
Mm.
is this, am I at the right place? Is this a safe thing? Like all of those things, I had to question all that. So I feel like, yes, consistency using patterns that people are used to
Mm.
also helps with confidence in them using your product,
Yeah.
and then at the end of it, getting you what you want. So that was it. That was my
Fun
takeaway.
fact. Fun fact. I read once that the positions of the primary and the secondary button. The reason why some people put it on the left, on primary button on the right, and then secondary button on the left,
Yeah.
signifies like the forward motion. So if you
Yeah.
click on the primary button, it takes you forward. So yeah, as to the truth in that, I don't know, but
You
it
don't know.
seems to work. It seems to work. It makes the explanation made sense. As in, clicking primary button takes you forward, and then secondary button takes you
Now
backwards.
let me ask you, if you are deleting something
Mm.
and there's a delete and cancel, delete is, I don't know if delete is forward, but
Mm.
is the action to agree to delete a forward taking action? Because then you're not actually moving forward. I
Well, in the context, it's forward. It's a forward motion because from here onward, whatever you are deleting will not be available again.
because I think I read somewhere that usually you put the desired action at the
Mhm.
right, and deleting is not a desired action.
At that moment, it is.
It's what if okay, assuming you are deleting an account of a product, right?
Mm.
You the business, of course, you don't want them to delete their account.
Yes,
So would you put maybe yes, delete on the right, or you put it on the left?
right. Because
You put it on the right.
because I would assume you've put enough friction between the user clicking on the delete button and then they confirming the delete. I would
Friction, like
assume,
you the deleters, you
yeah,
make it
like
very
when the whole once they hover over the delete button, make it disappear, so that they, so that they don't delete.
okay,
But
okay.
if my assumption is if they've been able to jump through whatever friction you've put there,
Then
then
they really
you should
fast,
understand that, yeah, you should understand
really
that
want.
their end goal is to delete and allow them to delete as they want to.
Okay. Okay, but
Maybe.
anyone
Mhm.
listening, if you want to share your thoughts, don't forget to leave a comment
Yes.
down there. Would definitely take a look at that, and for the benefit of others as well. So yeah, so this is 100 things every designer should know about people. It helps you to get into the minds of your users, the eyes of your users, the brain, what they are thinking, how they make decisions. I think everyone should read it. We'll find a way to link this book in the show notes. So keep an eye out for
Yeah.
that. Okay. So another segment we'll be diving into is this thing where we are calling X, or Derek, what are we calling it?
On social.
On social, yeah. So what is going to happen is we just go out there on social media and talk about anything that has got to do with design, right? Anything that piqued our interest, we'll pick that up and just share our thoughts on it,
And
right?
rants
So,
sometimes.
and yeah, and rant on it. So the first thing, or the first point on social is, I found this tweet a couple of days or a week ago. It was a designer at Arc. I'm pretty sure most of us know what Arc is. Arc is a browser by the browser company, so you can look into them. Very, very solid products. That's what I use. That's what Derek uses. That's what most tech people use these days. So it was about this designer, and he was releasing his app called Quick Journal, and he tweeted about it. And what piqued my interest about that tweet is he's a product designer. He works full time with the browser company. He works on the app browser. He's worked previously at Apple, in WhatsApp, Facebook. But then what he's designed and implemented or developed an app called Quick Journal, and he's tweeted about it. Like, he's not it just gives off the sense that he's not scared, he's not hiding that he has this side project that he's done. He's putting it out there into the world for people to use, aside the fact that he works 9 to 5 on app. So what I guess what I want to put, or what I want to draw our attention to, is the fact that in our part of the world, when you work for a company and that company works in the digital space, and you're also doing something on the side, it's your own thing, it's your own personal thing, and it's also in the digital space, it feels like you have to hide that thing. You have to hide any sort of association with you and that thing, because if your people find out, if your people here, it's your company, your employers, if they find out, it could raise a whole lot of issues, like they giving you reason of being not giving them your 100% at work. Any little mishap they can fall back to, you are not giving us your all just because you are doing something else. Like, you know what I'm the point I'm trying to drive
Yeah,
at,
yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I understand
It's
what you're saying.
like you have to hide what you are doing. Like, as let's say, hypothetically speaking, in a hypothetical world, Franklina works with Derek A Technologies, and she's a product designer there. She's designing this fintech with Derek A Technologies. Franklina is also interested in e-commerce, so she's building something in the e-commerce space. But when she's afraid, when she lets, or when her employer Derek A hears that she's building an e-commerce site or an e-commerce product, they can like, she'll feel like her job is at stake
Yeah.
and lose her job. They'll start making complaints. Or just raise unnecessary issues. So, in order for that not to happen, because my 9 to 5 is my daily bread, I just keep quiet about it. Or I might not even pursue it in the first place. Or if I do, I'll just give credit to someone who is not associated with Derek
With
A
a
company.
friend.
Like, we'll find ways around the whole thing of not making Derek A Technologies aware that Franklina is the one who owns this product, the idea behind it, and all that. So my point is, why are we in that situation? Like, what is happening for that thing to be there? What do you
Yeah.
think?
Well, I completely hear what you're saying, and it's I think that's it's one thing that's crossed my mind a lot, because a lot of companies are like, once you work for me, you cannot look at anything, even sometimes your personal projects, even if it's your personal business you want to run on the side. And I guess the fear is, you rightly said, they're not going to give their 100%, right? But a lot of the time, what the companies mean by 100% is that you'll be available at 10 p.m., 11 p.m. right? A lot of companies do not allow you that personal time to pursue your personal interests, right? Given you are being paid for 9 to 5 and not like 24 hours. So I guess the fear is it fear on the company side is that you're not going to be available when they need you. Is what?
I think it's insecurity. It's not even fear. Yeah, insecure. I don't know. Maybe I don't know because my serious issue. You're laughing about it.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying, right? Because there are a lot of designers, I believe, that have big ideas to reroute their salaries into other business ventures, other digital business ventures, and you realize that whatever contract that you have with whatever company you're working with forbids that if you do something on a company laptop, it's for the company. That's in your
Yeah,
ideas are for the company, or if you
yeah,
do it during working hours, it is for the company just because it was during working hours. And there are a lot of things that hinder that. Right, there are a lot of things that hinder that. But what's the workaround? I mean, because we clearly see that this designer from Arc has done this. And I see a lot of designers from some of these big tech companies who pursue individual passion projects and are
yeah.
successful with it. So if they can do it, why are some smaller companies insecure about allowing their yeah.
I wish, I wish I knew or I had a workaround for that. I honestly don't. So it's I don't know. Maybe if you have an idea and you think one day the company you're currently with can chase you, maybe go and talk to HR. Yeah, maybe go and talk to HR. Or that you HR, I have this idea. I just want to make sure if I do this and I succeed, you won't come and sit on my necks or something, right? I don't really know the work around it. Maybe if you have lawyer friends, you can show them your employee contract. I don't know. I
Mm,
really don't know the work around. I just think fine. I also think okay. I also think it should it should also lie with us, the designers, to make sure what we are doing doesn't interfere with our performance at work.
yeah, yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
becomes a problem. It becomes like you validate the employer's
The
insecurity
fear.
or fear as soon as what you are doing is interfering with your performance. So if you know within your heart that you can pursue whatever it is you're pursuing without it affecting your 9 to 5, you don't have any like you don't have to worry about anything. But as soon as you see that interference, I think that's where you have to think twice and really look at your actions. Yeah,
If you
but
know
for
you
now,
can't
I don't know
multitask,
any. Yeah,
if you know you can't multitask, don't
don't venture.
don't listen to us.
Wait,
Right.
wait. You heard Franklina and Derek on this podcast.
If you know you can't multitask, right? But then it also helps you to sometimes or once in a while take your mind off your routine
One
and
hundred
then
percent.
work on things that you are passionate about, work on creative stuff, learn a skill and others. But like Franklina said, um, if you don't know how to manage yourself and then your work well, and it begins to affect your performance, it validates whatever fear that the company has. Right? But do you think how valid is that fear if the person is performing well? Should companies also stop people from starting things if they are performing well?
I I don't think so. I think it stems from past experiences. You know, they've worked with so many people and they've
I
come
thought
across.
your past experience.
No, please. So they've been exposed to so many people, so many characteristics of people with different characters, and by
Mm.
all means, they've come across somebody who showed them shaggy. So based on that experience, then it's ignites that fear or insecurity. So it becomes very difficult to help them rethink that notion that I will do my work, but please allow me to do my side projects too. I'll do my work. I will hit my KPIs. I will achieve my goals. I will help you get to where
Yeah.
you want to get to. But me personally, I also want to. So if if an employer hasn't crossed anyone's path, it's very easy for them to give you that liberty, right? To
Well,
at least that's how it's playing out in my head. It's very easy for them to go like, you just do my thing for me. You can do whatever you want. Just do my own for me. But as soon as you break that contract, like it gets into your work, he's chasing you for work, you are going past deadlines, you are missing meetings, you are lost when they need you, then he starts thinking twice and start putting measures in place. And it doesn't end at you. It
yeah.
extends to your other colleagues. It extends to the rest of the company. So that's why it comes back to us, like we the individuals. If you know, you come out to ask, please. Don't be selfish and let it affect. Don't let your selfishness affect the rest of your colleagues at work. Right? Just do your part, do what you're expected to do, and then that extra time you focus
What if
on
I want
whatever
more
you
money?
don't let it affect your work. Then leave. If you think you wanting more money, you're not getting it from your employer, right? And it's affecting your output at your 9 to 5, leave the 9 to 5, because he's also paying you to do what he wants. If it's not enough and you think that side thing you are doing is giving you more, leave so that he can find somebody else to get the job done. So you don't have to be selfish. Like I think at that point you're becoming greedy or selfish.
Hey, I want
Yeah,
money
like
to chill.
if you need money and your 9 to 5 is not helping, leave the 9 to 5 and do whatever you want to do, because then you are putting somebody's business at risk, right? So just know where your priority lies, who you are committed to, and do what is best.
My priority is to chill, to work with the big boys. But yeah,
Yeah,
the one
so,
just know thyself. Know thyself
yes,
before you venture into stuff like that. But
yeah.
so anytime I see people building stuff, I'm really impressed. Right?
Mm-hmm,
Stuff like
mm-hmm.
Cook. We'll talk about BuukMeNow later. B30, the invoicing app.
Yeah, yeah.
Mother Tongue by Derek Amenuve. And yeah, there are a lot of things that people are building in the system, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy when I see stuff like that. I can't wait to. Yeah, I was also doing quiz app, and I'm a flopping on.
We'll come back to that.
We'll come back to
We'll
that.
just
Yeah,
come back to that
fingers
before the
crossed.
yeah. Yeah. So Derek, I saw your tweet about something that caught my eye, and I mentioned that we are going to discuss it here. So
It
it
caught
was
your
your
eye.
tweet. Let me quote that point. Yes, it caught my eye. And it says 11:28 a.m., August 10th, 2024. It says, or you say, and I quote, I have a feeling product designers and PMs will excel when they start physical businesses. Please elaborate.
Hmm. How do I say this without the other people in their product team coming to bite? So I feel a lot of the work of PMs and designers force you to think like a CEO, right? It forces you to think like a CEO. So looking at the PM and the PM and then the product designer role also like overlaps a lot. If you look at the Venn diagram, there are a lot of the things that we do that overlap,
Yeah.
like user research, market research, competitor analysis, all that. Like a lot of that overlap, right? So, and I believe that it's no different from what physical businesses do. When I mean physical business, I don't mean just every business, right? Um, Brick and mortar, things that are not digital. We are not talking about fintech or what. We are not talking about things that are digital. We're talking about things that are physical, brick and mortar. Yeah. So I see a lot of the things that designers do as part of their work will make them very good candidates for owners of these brick and mortar businesses. Things like thinking about the experience of whichever customer walks into. So, see, I'll use a barbering shop because Wahid has started a barbering shop, right? So, consider, assuming a designer started a barbering shop, right? They can sit down and plan out the experience of whichever customer walks into the barbering shop. Right. I'm not saying other professionals cannot do it. I'm just saying it's part of our job. Right.
Yeah, so it's
I'm just
not
saying
naturally for us.
yes, I'm saying it's part of our job. I'm not saying that before anybody comes to bite me. So a designer, as part of what we do already, you can sit down to think about the experience end to end of when a customer walks into your shop. So you can say, oh, as soon as the customer enters the shop, because the sun is facing my door, it will shine on their face. So let me put a canopy 90 degrees here so that when they enter the shop, the sun will not hit them. Right. That systems thinking mindset, it's part of the job that we do on a day-to-day basis. So it's very easy to translate that into a brick and mortar business. Right. So how to handle customers, how to handle customer complaints. Right. We handle stakeholder feedback every day. Right. You go to a design crate, you are going to show your design, you are going to do this, stakeholders are going to tell you their mind. How different is that from a customer that's frustrated? Right. So that's the thought I had. Like it's no different running the business. There's no different. There's a little bit of difference from that between that and then actually doing design work.
I've actually had this thought before, but mine wasn't along the lines of having a physical business or brick and mortar business.
Mm.
Mine was you should try and own a digital product,
Hmm.
right? And get actual users using it because then you'd understand your stakeholders when they make certain decisions or when they make certain complaints. Yeah, sometimes it can be, I don't use the word annoying, but it can be
It is annoying.
frustrating.
Can't.
It can be annoying and then it's only annoying because you're not wearing their shoes. So if you want to get into their shoes, maybe own a product, build something, put it
To
out there, let
understand
people
them
use
better.
exactly so that when you come to work and the CEO or your PM says this is not working, you have a fair idea of where he's coming from because on the side you own a product and you work with customers, you probably work with other people and you are able to say they shouldn't do this because of this and this and that and that. So I think it's a valid idea proposition that PMs and designers should own brick and mortar. In extension, you should own a digital product as well. That way, you are
Mm.
able to then you fully wear the stakeholders side of things, and then you're a customer. A PM is a customer for certain business, so then you're also fully wearing the shoes of a customer in certain situations. So yeah, I
I
think
have I have
we should.
I have an opinion
Okay.
that sometimes designers complain about orga centered design because they've not been in the shoes of the stakeholder
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's just an opinion.
Please go for him.
Yeah,
Chew him out.
because there are sometimes even I've realized that the organ centered design was better than the idea that I had in your head. And for those ones, designers will not come and say it.
Yeah. You
But
always
but
go with
but
your
then
friends. Yeah.
as soon as it differs from what you have and it's yeah, as soon as it differs from what you have and you have to do a lot of work, then you come and complain, right? This is just an opinion, please.
Please
You
attack
can
him on his
take
social media. Attack him.
take it with a gallon of
But yes,
salt.
it is one of those things that we are not quick to come and say, just as we are quick as yeah. If today at work you did something and your boss didn't like it, trashed your work, you will come and say it. That you tell whoever needs to hear that I did this and they didn't do. But on the other occasions where you did what the Oga said and it actually worked, now when you come and see because
You
it
even
doesn't
come and
work
say
here.
you designed it.
Exactly. Right. So
I was
so
bored
yes,
and I designed this. Not knowing it was your boss that trashed your design and then you please I'm
unfortunately
joking,
for you, your boss is not on X, so he can't come and yeah, so
All right.
yeah.
Another thing
Yeah.
we saw online. Another thing we saw online was a product making waves. That's friend.com. Have you heard about it?
Yeah. French doc And the first, I saw it on X again. The thing that struck my attention was they raised an amount of 2.5 billion, right? And
Million.
they, million, sorry,
Mm-hmm,
2.5 million dollars, and they used 1.8 million out of it to buy the domain friend.com. Like,
mm-hmm.
whoa. Like, whoa. Like, you raised $2.5 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2.5 million.
Why though?
Then
Why?
I think it was, I think, dot com has a, it's popular.
Mm-hmm.
It's popular in the sense that if I have dot com, it's easier than dot app. Everybody
Okay.
knows dot com. Like, it's easier to,
People are familiar with that.
exactly, like it's easy to sell your product as so and so dot com. Dot app interferes with a lot of things. Dot app, dot io, dot so they're now coming up, right? But dot com is like the orga. So everybody, if anybody wants a product, the first thing they are looking out to get is a dot com. If it's not there, then they go to the rest.
But
So, and
what?
friend dot com, like, what is easier to sell friend dot com than friend dot app or friend dot so
So
or
what? So
friend
what if
dot
the
I?
product fails?
Then they own it, so they can
For
get
what?
their 1 point. The way they bought the domain for 1.8. If somebody was also assuming, I don't wish them any bad like here, but assuming friend.com doesn't work, it's it goes down the drain. They still have that domain, that they have that investment. If somebody is also doing something and it's and they need a .com, they can come to these people and say, okay, you're not using your friend.com. I want to buy it. Then these people have purchasing power here. Oh no, they have like
The
leverage. We
upper
bought it for
hand, yeah.
1.8. Exactly. We have 1.8. Give us 2.5. And if those people have monies, they'll pay.
That's a really, really long shot. Yeah, like it's a very, very long shot. So you are
And
banking on the fact that one, the product is going to succeed, and then two, if it doesn't succeed, someone might buy it off you sometime in the future.
maybe they don't have plans on selling if things don't go well. Maybe it can become legacy something, like we have legacy code. It can
here,
become their legacy that they
here
own friend
lies,
and they bought
here
it for
lies,
1.8 million.
here lies the remains of friend.com.
You see, but then this thing could have happened on the low. They could have spent this much and then they'll keep the news to themselves. That
They had
one,
to brag
nobody.
about it.
I think it was very strategic. Strategic in the sense that if I bought something for 2 cities, if somebody was selling something for 10 cities and I bought it for maybe 12 cities, it's no news. Like, if I come and post it on X right now, how many views will I get? And then I won't get the attention I need, right? But I raised 2.5.
Yeah, but we spoke about it for 1 week and then that's all.
But then in that 1 week, God knows how many pre-orders they've had coming in. God knows how much traffic it drove to their site. God knows how many investors who later on reached out to the CEO. God knows the opportunities it has opened within that span of 1 week. I can say they've made so much. I want to bet on the fact that things have gone their way because attention, eyeballs,
Mm,
likes, tweets, audience, my God, you have no idea what it can do for your product. Even if it is for 1 day, 24 hours, it can do so much. And I think they got exactly what they are looking for. Right. I think they did. And it will be sad if they didn't, but then I honestly think they got their money's worth.
mm,
Not in actual physical money, but in so many things, in so many forms.
yeah.
Connections, opportunities, eyeballs, like, yeah. I
So
think it was very big they put it out there.
well, so how the friend products work for
So
those that
it's
mm,
a wearable AI.
yeah.
Like, you wear it
So
and
like
then
humane and rabbit.
exactly, but But yes, you wear it, so it listens to your conversations with.
Like
You can
Siri.
talk to it like Siri. Yes, you talk to it, and then it has to sync with your phone, right? So when you talk to it, it will respond with a notification on your phone. I basically that's how the app is. You can all visit friend.com. They have a very simple website. There's a video, and then you can. But it's a wearable AI. Hopefully, it doesn't go down the drain like humane and rabbits.
That hopefully doesn't have a lot of hope in it at all.
Oh well, it. I think it's. I feel it's better than humane and rabbits because their own. It's like a necklace. It's just. I just think it's bulky. Like if it doesn't match with the attire, the way I'm dressed, they will feel off.
Yeah.
But then it's a wearable. Maybe you can hide it, in your shirt or something. It's like a
It looks
necklace.
like a whistle for pee. But yeah,
Oh
it's
my.
also always listening. Like it's always listening to you.
Yes, yes. I think they mentioned somewhere that you can it now will figure out or know the right time or at which point to stop listening or when to send you the feedback on your phone as a
Yeah.
notification.
Because
Yeah.
they are FAQ. What does always listening mean? When connected via Bluetooth, your friend is always listening and forming their own internal thoughts. We have given your friend free will for when they decide to reach out to you. That
Yeah.
means you can you can be walking on the street and then it decides to contact you like some
Yeah.
spirit.
Notification spirit.
How
Notification spirit. This game.
how far do you think this is going to help with the goal or the vision of making people less lonely? Because this looks like another. It looks like in secondary school we had this thing that someone brought to class where you can send an email to yourself in the future.
Mm,
Have you used the product like that before?
no,
You
I
can.
haven't.
So I tried
I
it.
know you can write a letter to yourself, to your
Yes,
future self.
yes, and then
That's
you
why I know.
email it to yourself, and then it comes like 5 years, 10 years later.
No, that would
This
be.
this I'm comparing this to the friend such that it is always listening to you, and then in the future at some point it reaches out to chat that, hey, you went to buy gobe at this and this, how was it?
I hope it works that way. I honestly hope it works that way. The reason why we can't be sure of that is it's a pre-order thing. So if you pre-order now, you get it
Yeah,
within 20.
it's all speculation.
Yeah. So at this point, we can only have a fair idea of how we think it will work. We'll only get to know when people actually get it, and then the reviews start pouring in. But if it works like this, then of course it's a friend, right? It can go back 3 years, five
Is
years,
it
2 years.
though? Is it a friend though?
We live to see. We live to see. We live to see. Me,
Well,
what amazes me is how much they spend on friend.com.
yeah, I mean, what?
Other companies have spent quite an amount of money on their domains. They just don't come out to say it. Some put it
Yeah.
out there, but this is like the all in all.
Well, we are talking about it right now because the domain name was ridiculous. So
Yeah.
they
So that's the only
probably,
way I got to know about
yeah,
it.
they probably hit their goal
Yeah.
of getting
That
people to
somebody
talk
in
about it.
Ghana who is making Edge Cases podcast heard about it and is even segmenting their
Yeah,
podcast.
the
Like,
almighty Edge Cases podcast, like number one design podcast in the world.
you get so like they whatever their metrics were, pretty sure they've hit it over and beyond
So the end goal is to do what?
the
Like,
the goal of the
yeah,
product.
that's why I don't understand in the products. What's the end goal? To get people another Siri? Because if right now that Apple has released the Siri to I think the 15, is it in beta or it's in full?
I think it's still in beta. I don't know. Maybe I don't use
So
15.
what if now Apple says okay, Siri will always be listening to you? Well, I mean Siri is currently listening until it's only activated when you say Siri.
I should get my phone to make sure. And
Yeah,
he
my
said,
phone activated. Hey Siri.
I've never really gotten the point of wearables. I don't know why. I don't see the point yet. Maybe because I haven't been exposed to using
Well,
them.
people want fashion and then functionality in one. Because if you wear $1,000 watch, it can just tell you the time. But if you wear an Apple Watch, you can tell the time. You can take it to an exam room and then open your gallery and then see the report that you wrote.
I saw this
You-
tweet. I don't know who made it, but the person was like, he wants. I don't know if it's MKBHD, but the person was like, he wants to know um the the is it like something around the sales of
Hmm.
the Vision Pro. You know
Oh,
when it
yeah,
came
yeah,
out,
yeah,
it
the
was
hype around it.
yeah, it was a big deal. But he says he'd be interested in knowing the money aspects to that product. For all we know, that one too is doing well though.
Well, hype sells a lot. Hype
It
sells a
does.
lot.
People just want to get it because it's the new big thing. Like not
True.
that they will use it in their day to day or
You should even buy one.
hey, I know Rich. I really know Rich. I really know
All
Rich.
right.
Okay. Yeah, so that's it for on social. So if you have any interesting thing you see on X, on Instagram, anywhere, just reach out to any one of us and we will be sure to talk about it. Right,
If
Derek?
you have any different opinions too,
Please
if
do share.
yeah, if you want to insult Franklina and
Or if
say,
you want to dash me money or buy me the cake, you can do that.
all right,
Okay, Derek. Do you want to move to the next segment?
yes. So the next one is similar, right? So we'll still be talking about products, but this one is specifically a product from the ecosystem. It's called, should you do drum roll? It's called Book Me Now. Yeah, I think we should add a soundtrack with people shouting yay. Cool. So we're talking about Book Me Now. If you've been listening from the beginning, thank you for listening. And also, I mentioned earlier, I am always like excited when I see people building stuff within the ecosystem, especially designers or devs or people within the same system, the same ecosystem we are in. And this one product that started a while ago and they are still going strong. And I think
Very
it's cool to
strong.
talk about. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, the main idea of Book Me Now is to make your appointment scheduling and your down payment easier. So, say you want people to pay, let's say 20 CDs to book an appointment with you, you can use the Book Me Now service. If you sell services, let's say you're a designer, you want to put up your services like a consultation, you have a 10-minute consultation for 100 CDs or a 20-minute consultation for 200 CDs. You can put that up on Book Me Now, and it's they process your payments, they process the booking, the Google Meet, they process the whole journey from people booking appointments with you, and then you meeting them and providing whatever service that you you are providing for them. Right? I think it's a very cool thing, given ecosystem really doesn't have a lot of those things.
Yeah.
Some people tried doing this with Year One Social. Do you remember Year One Social?
Yeah,
The
that
guy who
was yes.
built Betika. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
far that is. Let me Google it. But yeah,
I, th-
that's yeah. You're saying
I think it probably morphed into something else. I'm not so sure. It's either still there or it morphed into something else.
it's still here.
It's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the links to the apps have been disabled. But yeah, hopefully they come back soon. Maybe they are working on something. But I think there's a really cool thing that Peter and his team are building. Peter, Michael, and the rest of the team. Yeah, I think Todd is also working on this. So yeah, Peter, Todd, Michael, and if I've forgotten your name, please forgive me or don't forgive me. Which
Yes, I think one way we can all support Book Me Now is to we all have friends who sell or who provide some sort of service. right? So just get your friend to download BookMeNow, let them set up their store, let them share it, let their customers patronize them through BookMeNow. That's the only way we can support our own, right? So that they can also go and be raising 2.5 million and use 1.8 to
for
buy
domain.
a domain, and then it's from Ghana, and we are all like very proud of that
Like
achievement, right?
we'll look for their house and go and warn them. I will use 1.8 million to buy a domain.
Yeah, so I think that is one very significant way we can help Peter and the team on Book Me Now. So if you haven't, just Google them, Book Me Now. Twitter, look for Oni Code. If you have any thing you want to say to him, just reach out to him and then talk to him. He's very open. He's very welcome to listening to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the
so that is
website.
all.
Well, you've mentioned the website.
Yeah,
B
ME.
U U K MENOW.com. This one didn't
Yeah,
cost
we'll
1.8
add a
million.
link to the show notes, right? We'll add a link to the show notes so that you can also access it from there and check them out.
This one didn't cost 1.8 million.
This doesn't cost 1.8
Yeah.
million. Next week, we will look at another creative spoiling there in Ghana.
Maybe you can look at your product. Or you are
Maybe.
not doing any side thing.
Hey, why are you putting me on the spot? I am. I am. Maybe we'll talk about that.
Wow.
I am because I'm able to do my 9 to 5 well and then do this too very well. So I am. We'll talk about it some other time. Now coming to you. The
What
quiz,
have I done?
the quiz web app. How far with it?
Oh, very far.
You know the whole of this week and I think last week. I'm holding you accountable here. We've not heard anything about it on
Yeah.
your Twitter
I've
or
been
X.
very busy. I'm very busy with work, and then yeah, life.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can
But
understand.
let's see. Next week. You know, while I no, not a while. I wrote some code yesterday. It's been a while I worked on this quiz app. I'm working on it by myself, and then help from the Bamba squad. So the QA people,
Shout out to the bumper squad. They know
the
themselves.
QA people. Yeah, but I'll try and get maybe in the near future get a proper team to work on this. Proper, no, I'm not saying proper like the Bamba people are not proper. Please, before before people come and find kids for you, but maybe a team dedicated to this, just to see. But I don't have money, so if you'll be willing to work on this for free, I can provide you with entertainment. I'm a really funny person.
No doubt.
But
No doubt about that.
but if you are willing to work on this, or if you think you want to contribute to this, reach out, right? And we can do something together. Yeah,
Yeah, so since we are on this, do you mind sharing what started all this? Like, what started this whole quiz idea? Why did you pursue it?
this will sound like a lie, but it's not a lie. I was up about no, I went out. I went to my parents, and then I came back home around 11 p.m. And then I couldn't sleep, so I was like, I wanted to do something to while away time. So at 12, I picked my laptop, and then I went to Claude AI, and I was like, give me ideas to build what for designers. And they gave me a couple of ideas, and among those ideas was a quiz app. Then I built a quiz app that night. So I did it. I was at it till like maybe 4 or 5 a.m. And then I got a very early version working. So if you're on my Snap, you'd have seen me do like a very early version. That was like a white screen or something, a very early version. So once I got that running, the next day I polished the UI up, and then yeah, that's how it started. Though I didn't receive any revelation from heaven or anything. So it's basically insomnia,
One of these days, you probably tell us why you are a designer and you are coding at the same time.
because
Tell
I
us
want
the
to
story.
tell the devs that I can. Like just that.
You want to just put it in their
Yeah,
eyes.
just because I can. But yeah, there's still a lot to learn. By the way, there's still a lot to learn. But yeah, just to flex on them, like, yeah, I can. Please, I beg you, nobody should come for me.
Come for him. Attack him. Attack him. Okay, so this brings us to the end of case one on the Edge Cases podcast. We hope this has been a thrill. We hope this being the first episode, it's it's reached your expectation or it went beyond your expectation, right?
Yeah, so first episode, I think we want to get going. We have a goal of hitting at least five, and then from
Yeah,
five we go to 10.
yeah,
The first few episodes, the first few episodes will be just trying to build consistency, and I think yeah, I enjoyed this session, and I'm looking for the future ones. If you have any feedback, you can drop it in the comments or DM Franklin and I, and we would happily listen and then implement whatever feedback. But now we are happy to keep this running, and let's see what the future holds.
yeah. So, in case you haven't followed us, please do follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, anywhere, right? And if you haven't followed us on social media, please do so at Edge Cases Pod on X, on TikTok, on Instagram. We don't have a LinkedIn, do we?
No, please.
Yeah. So, thank you very much for spending this much time with us. We would see you next week.
Yeah,
Bye.
thanks, guys. Bye.